Theo just dropped T3 code, and I am pretty excited for this one. I mean, what's not to love about it? It's a fully open source agent manager that is completely free. It just uses your existing subscriptions. And I know terminal UIs are all of the hype at the moment, but I'm sorry, for multiple agent workflows across multiple projects, a GUI is just a better experience for me, and that's why I've been loving the Codex app recently. But I have been annoyed by its performance. It absolutely loves RAM, and also the fact that you were tied down to OpenAI's models. So let's see what T3 code has to offer, and if it solves some of these pain points. So this is T3 code, and if you've used the Codex app before, this UI is going to feel pretty familiar. On the left, we have our projects, then inside of them, we have the individual threads that we have open. But one of the first things I want to clarify is what this app actually is. This is not competing with Claude Code or Codex as a coding agent. This is simply a GUI on top of those tools. So all of the code that you see in this thread and all of the responses are coming from Codex behind the scenes, and therefore it's using my OpenAI subscription. That is why T3 code is completely free. If we go down to the model selector, you can see I can choose between the available models on OpenAI, and you can see they want support for Claude Code, Cursor, OpenCode, and Gemini in the future. In fact, I've actually seen the Claude Code support is ready. They're literally just waiting for clarification from Anthropic to see if they can use Claude Code subscriptions this way. For me, this is going to be one of the biggest advantages of T3 code, because while I do like OpenAI models for coding, some of the tasks they're just worse at, like UI design, so I do have to switch apps from time to time and open up Claude Code in the terminal while I'm working with the Codex app. If they get this integrated, I won't have to, I can manage it all from one place. Plus, I also tend to find that the models creators make the best harnesses for them, aka OpenAI models work best in Codex, and Anthropic models work best in Claude Code. So this way, we still get the same quality. This also means that T3 code's focus is on the user experience of managing and using these agents. So if I jump into a project I was working on earlier, this is actually my personal blog, which I haven't upgraded in years, so I want to change the way that Markdown works in it. Now down here we have our reasoning selector alongside our model selector, and also fast mode on or off if you're using the OpenAI models. Then we can choose between chat and plan mode, as well as full access and supervised for those tool calls. Now I'm actually going to leave this on plan mode, and over here we can choose between local and a new work tree. I really like Git work trees for working with agents, so I'm going to leave this on new work tree, and also leave this on the main branch in the selector over here. So if I send off this prompt, Codex is starting to look around my repo and build out a plan for me, and we can see the tool calls being streamed in here as well. I also set off 2 other agents in these projects here to get on with some coding work for me, so we can see that with a nice working badge. While the plan is still building, I want to point out that I really like that this automatically picked up my favicon for this project. It's just a small touch that I think is pretty cool. After a few minutes, the agent is asking for some user input, so we have a question here. I'm going to go ahead and select that answer. And after a few more minutes, we can see it's now done with its plan, and we get to see that in the chat here. We can also download this as Markdown or save it to the workspace and expand it if you want to read the entire plan. I'm just going to go ahead and implement this. And while that does my work for me, I want to talk about the other selling point of T3 code, and that's its performance. If you've ever used the Codex app, you may have noticed if you have multiple agents running, it starts to get a little bit laggy, and I've even had to restart my Codex app because it just starts to lag out completely. I've actually been using T3 code with multiple agents for a few hours now, and I haven't experienced that once. You can even feel the attention to performance, because if you click around in these threads here, you'll notice they all load immediately, even if they're super long threads. Back to my project though, it looks like it's done with the code changes. So if we go up to this menu here, we can click on commit and obviously see an overview of the files that have changed. And if we leave this message blank, it's going to auto-generate one for us. We check out the menu here, you can see we also have push and create PR. If you click this button on its own, it's going to generate the commit message for you, push it, and then open up a new PR straight away. Once it's created it, you can see we get an icon in the sidebar over here telling us this has an active PR for this thread, and we can also just click on this button to be taken straight to the PR itself. It might seem like quite a minor feature, but I just think it helps you ship faster by just giving you that button to straight away push the code up, open up a PR, and you can move on with your project. You'll also notice that this icon will update based on the status of your PR, so if it's rejected, this will change red, and if it's merged, you can see it's changed to purple. As for the other buttons that we have above a thread, if we click on this one, we can see a diff view for each of the individual turns that the agent took, or all of them combined, and I think this renders in very nicely, and we can choose between a split or a unified view. Then we also have a simple button to open up the code base in Cursor or Finder. Then we have the quick action button. If you haven't seen this before, this essentially just allows you to set up a button that's going to go ahead and run a command in the project for you. You can also choose if you want to run this automatically on a work tree creation, or if you want to create a keybind for it. So with that one set up, we now have a button that if we click on it, it runs bun install within the project that we're in. And it also brought up the integrated terminal that I was going to show you next anyways. Not much to say here besides it's a normal terminal, it just means you don't have to leave this app very much. The other feature that I really like that's quite a small quality of life improvement, at least for me, is when you click on add project, instead of browsing in your Finder files, you can actually just paste in a path to the project. I quite like this because often I scaffold my projects out in the terminal first. Now I can simply copy the working directory and paste it in to open it up. It does kind of make me wish though that there was just a terminal command I could use that would do the exact same thing. So that's definitely the first item on my wish list. So now let's talk about a few more features that I think are missing from T3 code. I'll start off with 4 minor quality of life improvements. The first one is I want to be able to double click on a thread title to rename it instead of going into the menu. The second one is in this menu over here, I want to see an option to open it up in my terminal. The third one is I want to be able to collapse the sidebar. It doesn't seem like you can do that at the moment, which seems like a bit of an oversight, so I'm sure they'll add that soon. And the fourth one is I want to be able to see the running terminals. At the moment, localhost 3000 is running in this session, but I see no indication that there's actually an active terminal. The good news is though, since this is open source, I can actually just clone the repo and ask Codex to add these features for me. So after a bit of vibe coding, I now have double click to rename, so I can change this to subscribe, something you should definitely do. I can now click on this menu to open it up in a terminal. I can see the running terminals over in this session here, and I can also do Command B to close the sidebar. It does seem like I have a bit of a formatting issue though. Now besides those poorly vibe coded features I just added, there are still some important ones that I think are missing. And the first big one is better skill support. I'd love to see a way to be able to tag your skills in the prompt like you can in Codex, and also a view to see all of the skills that you have installed. And the same thing goes for MCP servers. I'd also love to be able to run a headless version of this on a dev machine in the cloud, so I can set up and manage remote agents through it. I'm sure these will be added soon though, as the repo already has a ton of feature requests, and Theo and his team, especially Julius, ship very fast. But let me know what you think of T3 code in the comments down below. While you're there, subscribe, and as always, see you in the next one.